The Witch Child. Once upon a time in a small town lived a newly wedded couple. They got married 6 months ago. The couple, Mira and Felix, are very much in love with each other. Mira didn't want to have a baby immediately after they got married. She wanted to enjoy her newly wedded life. And Felix, her husband, was fine with it. After their honeymoon, Mira got pregnant and the couple were very excited to meet their baby, their new family member. As time goes by, Mira became heavily pregnant and she visited the hospital more often. One very sunny afternoon, Mira was on her way to the hospital for her regular checkups. She walked past a very big tree. Immediately she walked past that tree, she felt her baby move like something entered her. She felt a sharp pain and she rushed to the hospital. When the doctor did a checkup on Mira and gave her an injection, she became fine. Felix came to the hospital and took Mira home, unknowing to the couple that a spirit has entered Mira's stomach, staying inside of her as a baby. The next day, Mira had a strange dream where she saw herself crying and begging a very beautiful baby with blue eyes to not leave her alone. When she woke up, she told Felix about it, but he said she's just stressed and pet her to sleep. Things started going bad in their family. Felix was losing contracts and this worried him a lot. Mira fell down from the stairs and she almost lost her life. She almost died. The couple noticed all of these strange things and went to a church. They were prayed for and thankfully everything went back to normal. Mira gave birth few months later. They welcomed a baby girl so pretty with a loving smile, but behind that smile is a demonic motive. They named their child Grace. Grace is from a realm of jungle demons who live on the tree. They come out mostly when it is very sunny and by night. Seeing Mira that day under the very hot sun was a very good opportunity for Grace to come into the world as a human being, and she succeeded in doing that. Grace is a very pretty child, but she's very mischievous. Being a witch, she troubled her parents so much and never gave them peace. She fell ill every time intentionally just to trouble her parents. She was tagged with various bad names in school by both the teachers and the students, and she had no friends. Mira also noticed that Grace talked to herself alone, not knowing that Grace is talking to her fellow witches. 18 years later, Mira and Felix failed to give birth to another child. Mira and Felix tried to give birth to another child but failed every time. They consulted different doctors. The results always say that they are medically okay, but Grace is behind this. Grace is the reason why they don't have another child, as she uses her power to stop them. She doesn't want to have a younger sibling. She wants to be the only child. Mira went to so many churches. They revealed to her that it is a spiritual matter. She became so close to God. She prayed for more children, whereas Grace and her fellow witches were hindering her prayers. Every time Mira gets pregnant, she would lose the pregnancy, sadly, every time. Strange things happen in the house often, but Mira and Felix would think that they heard wrong. Sometimes they would hear different people laughing from Grace's room. Grace refused to share her food with anyone. Anyone that gets into a fight with Grace always gets into a very big problem. So guys, I tagged a fellow storyteller below. She tells interesting stories, amazing stories here. Anytime I watch her stories, I'm always glued to my screen. If you're looking for romantic and interesting stories, she has them also. Head to her page. I tagged her below. Her name is African Tales by Peculiar, so just check below. I tag her. Please follow her and watch her interesting stories. Finally, after 19 years of giving birth to Grace, Mira became pregnant. Grace was very angry. She tried all she could so Mira won't give birth to that child, but Mira was protected by God. Her fellow witches told her several things to do. They gave her a strange water to use it to cook for Mira, but none worked. Grace felt threatened by the baby in Mira's belly. Obviously, the baby is more powerful than she is. Few months later, Mira gave birth to a baby girl with blue eyes.